Dang boy, we looking better tthan ever! Hello everyone and welcome back to another episode of CSGO News. As always, look down below in the description for time markers of what subjects you guys actually want to listen to. But the main topic for today is going to be MLG Columbus here in Ohio. It's going to be announced here in the next couple of weeks and should be held by the end of March. It's one of the biggest majors of the year at a $1 million cup play, and it's going to be absolutely amazing. So I'm going to break down the league play and the bracketology of that, and it should be a really fun video. I hope you all enjoy. So first off, like I said before, it's the biggest major of the year so far that's been announced, a $1 million cup play. Absolutely amazing. It's come down to 4 groups, and we do have Group A, B, C, and D, which I will relay off here. Group A, we have Luminosity Gaming, NIP, Flipside Tactics, and Mouse Sports. Group B, we have Fnatic, Splyce, Team Liquid, and FaZe. Group C, we have Envious, Astralis, Gambit Gaming, and CLG. And in Group D, we have Navi, G2, Virtus Pro, and Cloud9 Gaming. So really quick, me being a North American fan, I do want to break down the North American teams in this. We do have 5 of them. We have Luminosity Gaming, the #1 North American team by a long stretch. There's no really doubt about it. Luminosity is the best North American team coming out of this bracket that has the highest amount of chance to actually win the overall tournament. Then we do have Cloud9, that's our #4 American team. CLG is our #8 spot for North America. We also have Splyce and Team Liquid. Team Liquid's our 3rd ranked. So again, going back through those, we have Team Liquid, our 3rd ranked team. We have Cloud9, our 4th ranked team. CLG, our 8th ranked. Of course, Luminosity is our favorite. And then we have the Miracle team, and that is Splyce Gaming. I really want to get into Splyce. The next minute or so is going to be spent all talking about them and how they snuck in to one of the biggest majors of all time. Splyce Gaming really took name for themselves when they actually beat Optic Gaming in a 2-1 best-of-3 series about a month and a half ago, 2 months ago. But that's really all they've ever done. So how did they sneak into one of the biggest major events ever? Well, that actually comes into a little bit of a breakdown. So first off, I do want to go into the diversity of these majors and how they actually pull the teams in. So they do want to offer an equal amount of share between North American, Eastern Europe, Western Europe, and also the Asian teams. So there was a best-of-1 matchup for the final spot in MLG Columbus, and that came down between Vex Gaming and the Mongols. Now, Vex Gaming is one of those Eastern European teams, actually a top 30 Eastern European team, so not too bad, and also a top 50 team in the world. They had secured that best-of-1 matchup versus the Mongols. The Mongols came out of the Asian and the Oceania region, and I believe they're the only team that was actually offered a spot in this, so kind of a rare thing. They were the 4th team out of the Oceania region, but still showed some really good signs, had some pretty good games. I believe their past 12 games, they had a pretty good record going, and they were to face off versus Vex Gaming. Unfortunately for the Mongols, they actually couldn't make the matchup because they couldn't get their visas in time, and so that offer was somehow offered to Splyce Gaming. I don't know what kind of major PR stunt they had, but a great manager on their fact and had a great agent for their team and actually secured that best-of-1 matchup. They also got the best map they could have possibly had and actually won versus Vex Gaming in a really handily way. They won 16-7, and that's how Splyce Gaming snuck into MLG Columbus. So again, it's kind of a weird thing. Now you consider Cloud9 to be a huge underdog. We have Cloud9 and CLG, who are both our 4th ranked and our 8th ranked North American teams. And you have people talking about Cloud9, putting them off as if they have no chance to even make it out of group play, which is probably true. Now CLG has a little bit better of a shot, but you know, just the way people have talked about both Cloud9 and CLG, those North American teams who are ranked again 4th and 8th in the world and in NA, they have no shot at winning. People have put them off completely. So I can't really wait to see how people talk about Splyce, because we have Splyce here, who again is not even a top 50 North American team. And again, to put that in perspective, we have Cloud9, who has possibly the slimmest of chances to win this tournament or even make it out of group play, who is the 4th ranked North American team. CLG maybe a little bit better of a shot. They're the 8th ranked team. Team Liquid has very little chance, but you know, probably better than both of those 2 teams combined. They're our 3rd ranked team. Splyce is not even a top 50 North American team. I believe they're right on the border, around 48th ranked in North America. Now, put it in even further perspective, they are not even a top 150 team in Europe. So again, people are very surprised because these are some of the top 16 teams in the entire world. I believe it's 10 of the top 15 teams plus 6 others that are top 50 for sure. Splyce is by far and away the miracle team and by far and away the luckiest team to be here to have a chance to play for $1 million. That's my quick rant on Splyce. Again, I wish them the best of luck. If you guys have the highest odds possible, you want to bet on a team, I would bet on Splyce. Splyce. Now, not only because I believe they have a slim chance to get a group stage, again, it's very, very slim, odds are it's not going to happen, but if Splyce does by chance make out a group play, you're going to see a Splyce team that comes to play that you've never seen before. Never before have these guys been playing for $1 million, and I want you guys to go into this mindset, go into this actual tournament with the mindset that these players are going to be playing at levels they've never played at before and have nerves they've never had before. They've never played for this much money in the past, so you're going to be seeing teams playing at their absolute best and doing things they've never done before. So don't count anyone out besides Cloud9. They probably don't have a chance. So now I'm going to go individually by each bracket or each group, A, B, C, and D, and talk about my upsets and who I think is going to come out of the group stage. As always, the group stage is going to have 2 of the 4 teams come out of group play, and the last 2 I think they go into losers bracket. Really nothing to mention there. So out of each group, we're going to have 2 teams coming out. Group A, again, we do have Luminosity, NIP, Flipside Tactics, and Mouse Sports. Excuse me for looking down. I can't remember all this information at once. Now, I do believe the upset team, I think your favorites here are going to be Luminosity and NIP, but very, very close behind those. I think Mouse Sports has a very little chance to come out of this group play, and they've been playing very, very well lately. They had a really good win against Fnatic in overtime a couple weeks back, and I do believe they've been playing very, very well as of late. I believe they beat G2 in a sweep. They beat G2 in a best of 3 also a couple weeks ago. Mouse Sports is looking fantastic. They're playing very well as a team. Expect them to show up to play, and I think they'll come out of group stage just ahead of NIP. Now also with Group A, I do have to pick a loser by far and none. I think it'll be Flipside Tactics. I believe they'll be lucky to get a win out of this group. I think they'll be the one to be first out of the group and definitely last place in it. So Flipside Tactics, I'm so sorry. I have no faith. I gotta be abrupt in these answers though. I think your sneak team will be Mouse Sports. Your loser team will be Flipside Tactics. In Group B, again, we have Fnatic, Splyce, Team Liquid, and FaZe. Now I do want to say my surprise team here will be FaZe. They've been operating very well as a team, and they've been playing those European teams. They haven't been stuck playing NA teams. I think a really solid reason why Optic Gaming isn't in this tournament is because they don't have the experience to play in this tournament. Now, Optic Gaming is ranked way far and above in North America than FaZe is in Europe, but I think FaZe is one of those teams that can really sneak by you, and I think they will surpass Team Liquid and Splyce definitely to come out of the group stage in the number 2 spot. No surprise, I think Fnatic will come out on top of this group and have no problem advancing. My sore loser, although I wanted to fight for them earlier, I think my sore loser in Group B is going to be Splyce. I think they'll be lucky again, just like Team Flipside Tactics, to get 1 win out of the group stage. So I think they're going to be my loser for the bracket. In Group C, we have Envious, Astralis, CLG, and Gambit Gaming. This is one of the more competitive groups where I really don't know too much about them. I need to do more research before I actually touch on this group, but I think by far and away Astralis should make it out of the group stage. I think Gambit Gaming, based off rankings, will be your loser of the group, and I think CLG is going to be your surprise. I've actually seen Thorin's videos. CLG has been performing, not too bad as of late, and again, that whole $1 million scenario really changes a team, so I think CLG might be your sneak team for this bracket. And lastly, the most competitive group of all of them, Group D, we have Navi, G2, Virtus Pro, and Cloud9 all clashing away. First off, I'm going to pick my sore loser. Again, another North American team. I believe Cloud9 will be the loser of Group D for sure, but I do want to say I think G2 might come out and beat out either either Navi or Virtus Pro. I don't know how they're going to do it. I don't know which one they'll beat to get out of group stage, but I think they will be your upset team here. Now that I picked your sore losers and your upcomers out of each and every group, I do want to go over each and every team individually. So please look down below for those time markers. I'm going to go over each lineup, what problems they've had, pros and cons, and what you can look forward to seeing MLG Columbus, because some of these teams are going to have changes and some things that are going to be happening that you need to know about. So I'm going to go over each of those right now. After a short break, CSGO News will be back. Yay! So as most of you probably know, of the previous major, the top 8 teams that actually placed at that major automatically qualify for the next major. So the top 8 teams have actually automatically qualified for MLG Columbus, and the other 8 teams are actually called challengers. Now, instead of going over the challengers, I'm going to go briefly over all 8 of the top qualified teams for all of you, just to give you a little bit different perspective of what you guys have not heard about the teams and how you can expect them to perform in the actual MLG Columbus tournament. First off, I want to go over Envious, a team that hasn't been shining so brightly ever since they won DreamHack 2015 in considerable fashion, but then again we forget, and we keep on forgetting, they never played Fnatic, TSM, or Virtus Pro. All 3 of those teams magically went out in the semifinals or quarterfinals of that tournament, which was absolutely insane, something that you never really see too often. And again, the experience of Envious at that point in time definitely gave them the victory there, because they didn't have to play any experienced teams in that DreamHack 2015 tournament. Besides that, ever since, they've really been struggling to get on point. They haven't had any true major wins. I think they won the Global Esports E-Cup. They ended up sweeping Dignitas 3-0 in that Esports Global Cup. Now, not a well-known tournament, but that is a well-known team. Dignitas, a top 20 world team, and they swept them 3-0. So besides that shiny moment, Envious goes into MLG Columbus not really knowing what they're capable of, but I do believe their experience is going to be key to success here. Envious, one of those rare teams in this tournament, surprisingly, that's been together for quite some time, and that experience in all those other majors is really going to carry over here. Overall, I think that experience of Team Envious, the fact that this team has been together for a while now, will really compel them farther. That experience is definitely going to play effect, especially when they're playing versus challenger teams such as Splyce or Cloud9 Gaming, teams that either haven't been together very long and performing very well, or teams again like Cloud9 that have been meshed together and had players leave and come back. So they're going to do very well against inexperienced teams in this tournament. I really kind of worry about Envious when it comes to playing teams like Navi, Virtus.pro, and Fnatic to see how they perform there. I believe a couple of months ago as well, they also replaced Kiyoshima with a player named Devil, and Kiyoshima is actually still on contract with the team, and they were performing very well with Kiyoshima, but they replaced him anyway with Devil, and they're playing with him currently. So kind of a unique roster change that happened a few months ago again, but they've still been performing decently with Devil in their lineup. And now we have Team Navi, definitely one of the bigger gun teams, one of the teams that's not necessarily underestimated, but a team that has a definite chance at winning this. After they placed second at DreamHack again, they did actually lose to Envious, but they were definitely one of the more experienced teams that could have beat them in that, but they did place second at DreamHack, and ever since then they've had some big wins. I think they swept two teams ever since. They actually swept 2-0 both TSM and Luminosity Gaming, which is actually a huge thing. As you guys know, TSM and Team Question Mark formed Astralis, one of the top teams as well. They swept that former team 2-0, and Luminosity Gaming, the top Brazilian team and one of the top teams in the world. They also brought Fnatic to a Game 5 in the ESL Pro League. They brought Fnatic to a Game 5 in a best-of-5 series, which is pretty cool to see. So they definitely had some big wins since then, and again, the experience is going to be a key factor. And also on top of that, they've been a unified team for a long time. Look for Navi to make a real presence in this tournament, if not come away with a top 3 finish, almost guaranteed. And ironically, or coincidentally enough, a year ago, right before this tournament starts, so a year ago on March 17th, they replaced their former player and now their head coach, Starix, with Flamey. So let's see if this actually has a good effect on the team. It's kind of coincidence that a year ago it happened, and they've had some extreme success in that whole year. So look for Starix to lead Team Navi to a possible victory. FaZe Clan is probably the biggest underdog of the top 8 qualifiers here. They've only had close games with Navi, Fnatic, and I think maybe LG. They've only had close games with those. Now again, FaZe has had a lot of best-of-1 series, so they haven't really had that much experience or major wins. I think they've had a couple 4th and 5th and 6th and 7th places in some tournaments here and there. But again, a lot of their ESL Pro League and their Pro League matches in general have been best-of-1s against top teams. So although they do have experience prior to being Team FaZe, they were acquired by FaZe Clan for some, hundreds of thousands of dollars. Prior to that, they had good experience together, and again, they have more experience as of now, but they're definitely the underdog and probably going to be the oddball of the top 8 qualifiers. Not much else to say about FaZe Clan. Another team who's actually seen quite the decline since year 2015, you guys can probably guess it, Team NIP, Ninjas in Pajamas. Ever since their second place finish at Katowice, they actually had a best of 3 with Fnatic. They brought it back to a 1-1, and then they eventually lost 2-1. They've really seen limited success and actually had a whole article published about them and their decline of success. They've really been struggling as of late. Not too much of a struggle, but they just haven't had the performances they really wanted to have. Of course, you can say that about every team that's not winning, but they've really been struggling. Part of this might have been at the end of 2015, right away, January 1st, 2016, they actually announced a new coach by the name of Threat. I really don't understand why these previous players carry their names onto coach. I mean, you can use your actual name when you're a coach of an organization, but they actually hired this new guy by the name of Threat right away at 2016, and they've seen limited success under him. But of course, he's a very new coach. He's only been coaching for the last 3 or 4 months under NIP, so it should be fun to see how he handles himself in this new situation. I would say they're not the lesser of the top 8 qualifiers, but NIP is definitely another oddball like FaZe Clan. You really can't expect too much until they get warmed up out of the group stage, if they get out of group stage. I really can't say much about Fnatic. The team is incredible. They've had a great year, a great last 2 years, and of course they're the #1 team as of right now heading into MLG Columbus. They've had some great past games. I believe they're actually winning. Going into MLG, they will have won at least 80% of their last 20 matches, which includes sweeps of Navi and also LG. They've swept Navi and LG, which is pretty incredible because Navi and LG... Dogs barking. Dogs barking. But like I said, Navi and LG are actually top teams in this tournament as well. Very top teams, and the fact that they can sweep those teams in Pro League games is incredible. So I look to see a lot from Fnatic. And in the past 3 months, they've actually won 4 huge tournaments. And again, those include those sweeps. So I cannot say that I want to bet against Fnatic. I do predict them to be the #1 finisher this tournament. That is just, it's not even a bold move. I think it's almost guaranteed the way they've been playing. It's outstanding. But again, anything can happen. They also have a relatively new coach. His name is Vugo. He's been demonstrating really calm during their plays and during their matches, so I don't expect him to change anything up for the tournament, and I expect him to be as calm as ever. Virtus.pro, another oddball just like NIP, who has seen a steep decline in the year of 2015 and 2016. Late 2015 is when the decline started. They have 0 really big tournament wins ever since that late 2015 era, but again, they're definitely a contender, and that contending is because of their experience. Of the 16 teams in the tournament, you can say probably 4 to 6 of them are actually experienced teams who know what they're doing and have been here before in multiple occasions. Virtus.pro being one of those teams, the experience is definitely going to push them forth. I do expect them to have a top 4 finish, and if they can upset any big teams, you never know what's going to happen. Earlier in my predictions, those are my pre-game predictions. I'll also have post-game predictions after I, give all this information to all of you guys, after I researched all the teams. Astralis was at first one of those teams where I thought, okay, they've been wrecking in their Face-It leagues, in their regular match plays. Okay, the dogs need to stop. Like I was saying, one of those teams where I first thought they're wrecking playing style, they're wrecking match plays in regular ESL matches. Whoever they play, they're really turning them over and sweeping them in most occasions, or at least gaining big leads and kind of just, floating the boat and going with it. But after I saw their previous success against big top tier teams, NIP, LG, Fnatic, TSM, all those big teams, VP, they've really struggled against these kind of teams. Now, again, as we all know, like I've said previously multiple times now, Team Question Mark and Team Solo Mid combined to become Astralis. They do have previous experience against these top tier teams, but in the last year or so, and ever since Astralis actually joined to become Astralis in the last few months, they have seen, I would almost say, 0 success against top tier teams. So like I was saying before, I expect them to get out of group stage. I do not expect them to finish better than a top 6 finish, and if they did, I would probably be surprised. Our last top 8 qualifier, Luminosity Gaming, is one of those teams where they really do struggle against top tier opponents, such as VP, Navi, especially Fnatic. They've really struggled to get any wins at all versus Fnatic, a team like them. So if LG did somehow sneak into the final versus Fnatic, you can expect a sweep or a definite win for Fnatic. And I do hate to say that, but again, experience does matter. This Brazilian team coming out of this country where they haven't really played a lot of heavier teams. I think in their ESL and match play games, LG dominated, and they came out of nowhere on the scene last year, late 2015, early 2016, and surprised the world because we had never seen them before. Well, Brazil had never actually seen a team like that before, and so therefore they're prepping, and what they came up on, they've been playing teams that were a lot lesser. And when they came into ESL and pro leagues, I think their playing style really meshed up with things that no one's ever seen before, and they saw a lot of success there. But again, against top tier teams, that experience really does matter. Now, Luminosity Gaming is probably getting better with each and every major or tournament they play. So again, I hate to say it, but they're a definite oddball in this tournament. I do expect them to go top 4. I hope they do. Again, they're our last hope for NA. It's kind of weird because North America is now stretching to Brazil, but they're the last North American hope. Now, I don't really technically call them an NA team, but they are ranked as one, so I will cheer for any NA team that I possibly can. So now, really quick, I want to tell you guys my predictions. I only want to go into my top 8 predictions. I don't want to really predict who's not going to make it out of group play. You guys can do that in your own time. So now, my top 8 finish predictions. In the 8th spot, I predict G2. I predicted G2 Esports to actually overcome Virtus.pro in their group play by some miracle, and I think they'll get 8th place. In 7th place, I have Mouse Sports. I had them barely overcoming NIP in their Group A stage of gameplay, and I have them coming in 7th place. We're going to give 6th place to the FaZe Clan. Lack of experience does matter, but they will grab 6th place. 5th place will go to Envious. Again, that experience is really important here, and they'll grab 5th place solely based on that. 4th place, Astralis will sneak past, barely past Envious, I believe, and they'll take that 4th place spot. I believe the inexperience and just the wild tactical plays they have will definitely bounce back to hurt them. 4th place for Astralis. I think Luminosity Gaming will take 3rd place, and again, I'm not really sure if these placings are actually going to work out because you really can't predict the placings and the place matches that people will have based off the brackets, in the group plays, but I think Luminosity Gaming will take 3rd place for North America, and they'll be satisfied with that. I think the final matchup, if it's somehow possible, will be Natus Vincier or Navi versus Fnatic. I don't know why I had to say the full name. You guys all know who I'm talking about. I truly believe the 2 best teams going in this tournament are Navi and Fnatic, not only because they've been a unified squad for quite some time now, but you have some key players that have been together with those squads, and they've been working together and also have seen a lot of success in the past. Now, I do believe Fnatic will take 1st place, though. It is going to be a best of 5. I believe that was announced. I think Fnatic will take it probably 3-1. I think it'd be lucky for Navi to even be tied at 1. So I think at any time, Fnatic will take this one. My prediction of the best of 5 is 3-1 Fnatic. Whew, I need some ice cream. Now that is by far and away the most research I've ever done for a video. If you guys did enjoy this, please leave a comment or a like down below telling me how I can improve this series. Again, I have never put so much time into research. I probably spent the last 2 to 4 hours actually researching all these teams, and I feel like I've learned so much, and it's been a great experience. I hope y'all enjoyed my input for this actual major, MLG Columbus, the biggest major we've seen to date, a $1 million prize pool, $500,000 going to the winner. It's going to be an absolutely insane thing. I hope you all enjoy. As always, live, love, laugh a lot. Remember, I like you, and I'll see y'all in a few days with another CSGO video and CSGO news update. Until then, remember, goodbye. I like you.